We have just arrived at the McFarland Fieldhouse down here at the University of Oklahoma. The stadium is just next to us, and the McFarland Fieldhouse is this way, and there's this massive line of people. Look at that massive line of people, all here for one thing, and we are too. So we're very excited about it. Are you guys very excited about it?
So excited.
Oh my gosh, they're very excited. Here's this big line of people. We're gonna stand in this big old line. I'm very excited, oh my gosh.
Actor, comedian, director, writer, businessman, and producer. He is best known for his role as Dwight on NBC's The Office. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, and won 2 SAG Awards for Best Comedy Ensemble in a Series. Rainn also is a published author, co-writing the New York Times bestseller Soul Pancake, Chew on Life's Big Questions, as well as writing a memoir about his personal life, career, and faith entitled The Bassoon King. Rainn's company Soul Pancake was named one of the Fast Company's top 10 most innovative companies in video for 2015, and was also listed number 114 on the 2015 Incorporated 500 fastest growing private companies in America. So, please join me in welcoming the man we all came here to see, Rainn Wilson.
Let them see it. Let the freak.
Get his phone.
I want to get a picture of that. Pretty good. I apologize to everyone who's right behind this speaker. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah.
I think I need to slide further in. Very nice to see you. Thanks for having me. Thank you to the Children's Hospital Federation of Oklahoma City, or whatever they're called. Thank you guys for sponsoring. Apparently we've raised over $20,000 for the hospital tonight. So that's cool. I suppose since I'm standing behind a podium and you're all Dwight Schrute fans, I should say... They're pressing play, all the lights are on. Here we go, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Blood alone moves the wheels of history! Now that's all the Dwight you're gonna get. As much as I love Dwight, as much as you love Dwight, I want to talk about some different stuff tonight, so bear with me. It was very exciting because we believed in all of the different religious faiths. You know, when watchtowers and Jehovah's Witnesses would knock on the door, my parents would let them in and cook them breakfast, you know, and talk about the Bible with them and share beliefs. We had Buddhists over and Sikhs over and Sufis over. We had books from all the different religious faiths on our shelves. So there was a constant dialogue. So this was a great way to grow up. Then, you know, long story short, I left all that. I went to New York City. I wanted to become an actor. And I wanted more than anything kind of be left alone in my pursuits of that. I wanted to move to New York City and be a bohemian actor who lived on the edge, and I didn't want anything to do with religious faith anymore. I didn't want anything to do with God. I certainly didn't want anything to do with morality. I rejected the religion of my parents. I was kind of rebelling against my parents as well at the same time. So I moved to New York City in the late 80s to become an actor, and I fully embraced being a bohemian and that kind of lifestyle, artsy lifestyle. I mean, it was actually pretty ridiculous when I look back on it now, because I actually, for a while, I wore a beret. Laughter and sadness and ponders why we're here. Either there's a meaning to this consciousness apparatus that has been implanted in our brainstem, or the other is that there's no God and there's simply random molecules in outer space, and there was a big bang and a bunch of atoms, and the matter and energy and time and light and was all created at the same time. And these molecules all bumped into each other and made solar systems and galaxies and whatnot. And then there was planet Earth, and that was a ball of mud, floating around here. And then for some reason, some life started. We don't know why. Maybe a meteorite hit an ocean or something. We don't know. And that turned into like little pollywogs and guppies, and then into, rainbow trout, and then into marmosets, and then monkeys. But there's no meaning to any of it. The only meaning is what meaning you create in your life. It's like, oh, I love family, or I love ice hockey, or I love, musicals, or I love gardening, or whatever it is. That's the only meaning. It's completely random. So those are the two choices, essentially. So I kind of went on a spiritual quest, and during this time, I read a lot of the great spiritual books of the world. I read the Quran, and the Bible, and the Bhagavad Gita, and the Dhammapadas of the Buddha, and many other spiritual books, kind of on a quest for truth and meaning. And this was over a period of many years as I was acting. These are what I want to leave you with, are these ideas that we're spiritual beings at our essence, having a human experience, that we're searching for what makes us come alive, and that we're in the process of living the questions, because one day, slowly by slowly, we will eventually find ourselves living our way into the answers. So thank you very much for having me tonight. Let's effortlessly segue into a Q&A. Here you go. I know the first answer. Black bear is best.
So our first question we have, what is your favorite series you've done with Soul Pancake?
My favorite series I've done with Soul Pancake is called My Last Days. You mean Jim pulled on Dwight?
Yes. That's what someone put in the
Dwight pulled on Jim. Yeah. Dwight didn't pull many. Can you think of any pranks Dwight? What? Oh, the snowball. That's right. He was in. I actually directed that episode. That was the Dwight hid out. Classic Christmas. Yeah, Dwight hid inside the snowman and pelted him with snowballs. Because in the end, the greatest snowball isn't a snowball at all. It's fear.
Did the Office cast play pranks on each other off screen as well?
People ask that, and it takes a lot to do pranks. I know that there's some, like George Clooney is really good at pranks. Actually, I heard a really funny prank that he did once. He was roommates with the actor Richard Kind, which if you saw, you'd be like, oh, that guy. They were roommates, and what he did is, Richard Kind had a cat, and Richard Kind was very obsessed with if the cat was making bowel movements or not. And so George Clooney started stealing the poops out of the kitty litter. And then Richard Kind was getting very concerned. He's like, he hasn't pooped in days.
No.
Days and days, and George Clooney stole the poops out of the kitty litter box. He's like, I'm really concerned. I need to take him into the vet. I don't think this cat is pooping. And then the next day, when he was gone, George Clooney took a dump in the kitty litter box. So Richard Kind came home and was like, oh my God! Oh, that's what happened. He must have been constipated. Anyways. But no, unfortunately, we didn't do a lot of pranks on the set. It's too much work. And we were working hard, so.
After such a successful career on a comedy show, how did you get people to take you seriously as a businessman, director, producer, etc.?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And it's a double-edged sword. So I got to play Dwight for 200 wonderful episodes with the greatest group of people on earth, and had so much fun. And it's a role I'll always be known for more than anything else, no matter what else I do. And I'm so fine with that. And I'm so grateful for that experience. And at the same time, there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of other roles that I've played that are very different than Dwight. There's a lot of other business ventures and things I've done that are different than Dwight. And it is somewhat, sometimes it can be a little limiting as people see me as, you know, I'll walk down the street and they'll be like, Dwight, hey Dwight, can I get a picture? Like as if my name is Dwight or something like that. So it's, you know, it's a challenge, but the only thing I can do is not really worry about it. I stay grateful for what I have in the office and move on and be doing other things at the same time. Yeah. It wasn't worth the applause. It wasn't.
Do you have any upcoming projects that you're excited about?
Well, Dana. By the way, should we call somebody from the office?
Yes! Please be Jim.
Someone shouted Angela, so I'm calling Angela.
Steve Carell!
Hey, Angela, I've got some friends that want to say hi. You really should have picked up your fucking phone. For once in your life. I know you're probably baking brownies for your 7 kids. But anyways, I'm at Oklahoma for some reason, and I thought I'd give you a call. Everyone said they love you and they say hi, so that's all. Now, good night. Thank you. You suck. All right. What? Oh, project. When this, Michael's name is Steve, and he's an actor named Steve Carell. Michael's one of the roles that he's played in his long, illustrious career. I'm not going to call him right now because he's far too rich and important to take a call from me. But so upcoming projects, Dana. Yes, thanks. I did 2 movies last year that will be coming out soon. One is called Blackbird, and one is called Don't Tell a Soul. And then I'm doing a new TV show for Amazon called Utopia. And that'll be out in 2020. I think spring or summer of 2020. And it's a conspiracy theory thriller, and I play a scientist. Very different role than Dwight, much more serious. And I'm trying to get this movie off the ground that I wrote, that I'm trying to direct, called Bonsai Shadow Hands. And it's kind of a really messed up version of Karate Kid. So we're very, very close to maybe getting that greenlit, getting the money to do that. And I'm writing some stuff and yeah, a lot of other stuff. So thanks for asking.
Great, we're excited.
Yeah. When are we going to wrap up here?
Yes, we just have 2 more questions, if that's okay.
Sure. Wait, hold on a second.
Oh.
Hello?
Where are you, Rainn?
I'm at Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma in Norman, Oklahoma. Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm putting you in the microphone. What do you want to say to everyone here in Norman, Oklahoma?
I want to say I love Oklahoma.
Hey, you're from Texas. I thought Texans hated Oklahomans.
I live in North Texas, 45 minutes from Lawton. Good evening, Texoma.
Good evening, Texoma. I love it.
That's right. So, and my mom was born in Tuttle, Oklahoma.
Woo!
Some big love for you guys, and you guys take care of my tall friend.
They're taking very good care of me.
All right, I love you, Ray.
Say hi to Gulf, the taxi driver.
Hi.
Great. Thanks, Angel. Thanks for calling back. I love you. Bye.
Oh, that was so great. I love it. Tuttle's a terrible town, though.
Two more questions.
Okay.
First one is, rumor has it there's going to be an Office reboot.
Right.
Tell us anything about this.
Yeah, there hasn't been any. I know there's been conversations about an Office reboot. I think the first thing that would need to happen is the Office would need to leave Netflix and go to the new streaming service in 2020 called Peacock, which is the NBC Universal streaming service. And then I'm sure they'll talk about it in some capacity. But Greg Daniels really is not that into doing it. None of us are really like that excited to do it. We made such a great thing, but maybe I pitched kind of like, or some of us have pitched like doing like a movie, Office movie or something like that. There's no plans whatsoever to do that at this point, unfortunately.
All right, for our final question, just as a recap of the night, what is one thing you want people to take away from tonight?
They're folding chairs. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was a little funnier than the amount that you laughed. On a scale of 1 to 100, you laughed at like a 22. I thought it was weird, like a 37. So let's try it again.
As a recap, what is one thing you want people to take away from tonight?
They're folding chairs. I didn't actually say this, but I hate to be like, okay, boomer, but I'm going to give you some advice, which is that I talk a lot to young people, and I love speaking to young people, teenagers and college kids. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. And there's an inordinate amount of pressure on young people today that breaks my heart. And that people think they have to get it all figured out so quickly. And I have to have these perfect high school grades and perfect SATs and get into this college and get my perfect degree and get my perfect grades so I get the perfect internship and I get the perfect, job and situation and setup. And I know it's hard out in the world, but at the same time, like, this stuff takes a long time to figure out, and all of the most successful and alive people living vibrant lives took a really long ass time to figure stuff out. And you don't have to have your degree at 22 and your master's at 25 and your job at 27 and perfect happiness at 29. Like, the 20s are for exploring and trying things and maybe following the words of Suzanne Adams, my drama teachers, like, oh yes, but first you must read books and travel the world and fall in love and study things and go all over the place and have rich life experiences. But I hope that you will take that pressure off, because honestly, most adults don't really start figuring out who they are until their mid-30s. So it took me even longer than that, so that's all. Thank you, guys.